Chosen ones, there comes a time in every believer's journey, a time so challenging, so disorienting, that it feels like you're standing in the middle of a vast, empty wilderness. It's the kind of moment where the silence of God feels overwhelming, almost deafening. You've prayed, you've fasted, and you've poured out your soul in tears, pleading for answers, begging for a sign, and yet, nothing. The heavens seem to have shut their doors. The familiar comfort of his voice feels distant, like a fading echo. And in those quiet, agonizing moments, your heart starts to ache with questions. Has God forgotten me? Has he turned his face away? Am I truly alone in this? But listen closely, dear chosen one, because what I'm about to tell you is crucial for your journey. God's silence is not his absence. In fact, it is the exact opposite. His silence is his preparation. The quiet you're enduring right now is not a sign of rejection. It's a divine setup, a sacred pause before the most powerful breakthrough of your life. You see, silence often feels unbearable because it strips us of the familiar. We are creatures of noise, of constant interaction, movement, and reassurance. But when God quiets everything around us, it is not to punish us, but to elevate us. It is to remind us that even in the stillness, he is working. Yes, this silence is uncomfortable. It challenges your patience, stretches your faith, and tests the very foundation of what you believe. But hear me, this silence has a purpose. It is not empty. It is not void. It is filled with divine intention. In fact, the greatest transformations in your life often occur in the moments where nothing seems to be happening. It is in the quiet, the stillness, the pause, that God begins his most profound and lasting work. Think of the seed, buried deep within the earth. The seed doesn't see the sun. It doesn't feel the warmth of the light. Instead, it endures the darkness, the stillness, and the weight of the soil pressing down on it. Yet, in that darkness, the miracle of life is unfolding. Its roots are growing deeper, its foundation becoming stronger, preparing it for the day when it will break through the surface and reach for the sky. Chosen ones, you are that seed. And this silence you're experiencing, it's your soil. God is covering you, shielding you, and nurturing you, even when it feels like nothing is happening. What you perceive as isolation is actually divine protection. What you interpret as delay is God's deliberate timing to prepare you for something extraordinary. But here's the key. Growth requires trust. Just as the seed trusts the soil to provide what it needs in its hidden season, you must trust God's process. Trust his timing, even when it feels delayed. Trust his hand, even when you can't see it. Trust that he is working all things together for your good, even in the silence. This trust, this faith in the unseen, is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It's what sets the chosen ones apart. For it's in the silence, the stillness, and the waiting that your character is built. Your faith is fortified, and your spirit is prepared for the magnitude of what's coming next. So, if you're in this season of silence right now, don't lose heart. Don't give in to doubt or despair. Instead, lean into the process. Embrace the stillness. Know that you are not forgotten. You are being prepared. The silence is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with divine purpose and unshakable breakthroughs. Trust the silence, chosen one, for it is in this quiet place that God is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. When God is silent, he's teaching you how to rely on him completely. He's showing you that faith isn't about always hearing his voice, but about trusting his promises, even when the sound of his voice seems absent. You see, faith goes beyond the tangible. It's trusting in the unseen. believing that God is working even when you don't feel His presence. The Bible reminds us in Isaiah 40:31 that those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Waiting in silence, chosen ones, is not a passive state of doing nothing. It's a season of active faith. It's a time for you to grow stronger, wiser, and more spiritually mature. In these quiet moments, God is doing a deep work in you, shaping your spirit and teaching you how to trust in His timing. While the world may call you to act quickly, God is teaching you the beauty of stillness and patience. This is when your character is built, your endurance is tested, and your spirit is refined like gold in the fire. Gold doesn't become pure by merely being placed in a comfortable environment. It is placed in the furnace, subjected to intense heat, and through that process, the impurities are removed. Similarly, it's in the silence, when things feel uncomfortable and challenging, that God purifies you. The trials you face during this time may feel overwhelming, but they are shaping you into the person you need to be to carry the weight of the blessing He has in store for you. Another powerful reason God tests you with silence is to draw you closer to Him. Think about it. When there are no distractions, no competing voices, no demands on your attention, what happens? The things you once relied on, the people you used to turn to for validation, and the noise of the world all begin to fade away. And in that space, what remains? Just you and God. This is the sacred space where intimacy with God is born. He's calling you to lean in, not with your ears, but with your spirit. He's inviting you to sit in His presence and let go of every distraction. This is where your relationship with Him deepens, where you learn to hear His whispers in the quiet places of your heart. God isn't just asking for your time. He's asking for your whole heart. He's not seeking surface-level engagement, but a deep, profound connection. And remember, He promised in Jeremiah 29:13, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." This means that in the silence, God is inviting you into a deeper pursuit of Him. It's in the stillness that you will find Him. It's in this quiet pursuit, free from distractions, that you will discover the depths of His love, His purpose for your life, and the strength to endure what lies ahead. Chosen ones, silence is also a time of preparation. Before every great breakthrough, there is often a period of quiet. Think about it. Before David became king of Israel, he spent years in the wilderness, hiding from enemies and learning to trust in God. Before Joseph rose to power in Egypt, he endured betrayal, imprisonment, and countless trials. Even Jesus, before beginning His public ministry, spent 40 days in the wilderness, fasting and praying, preparing Himself for the mission that would change the world. Why did all of them go through these silent seasons? Because the silence is where God equips His chosen ones. It's where He molds your character, sharpens your discernment, and fortifies your faith. In the silence, God is strengthening you, preparing you for the season of blessing and breakthrough that's coming. But here's the key. He's not just preparing the blessing for you. He's preparing you for the blessing. He's making sure that when the breakthrough comes, you'll be able to handle it, carry it with grace, and use it for His glory. Without the silence, you wouldn't be able to withstand the magnitude of the blessing He's about to pour into your life. So don't fear the silence, embrace it. It's the holy preparation for the breakthrough you've been waiting for. And here's the most beautiful part of this process. God's silence is never permanent. Yes, it may feel like the longest night of your soul, with every moment stretching on endlessly. But I want you to hear this today. Dawn always comes. The silence may seem overwhelming, but it's only a temporary season. His voice will return, and when it does, it will be louder, clearer, and more powerful than ever before. You'll hear him like never before, and you'll feel his presence in ways you've never imagined. In that moment, you'll see with perfect clarity what he's been working on behind the scenes during all this time. Every moment of silence, though it may have felt like abandonment, was filled with purpose. Every quiet second has been a part of his master plan. It was all preparation, preparing your heart, your spirit, and your mind for the breakthrough he is about to release into your life. When his voice returns, it will come with a power and a clarity that will make everything you've endured feel worth it. And the breakthrough, it will be greater than you ever dreamed. So, if you're in a season of silence right now, don't despair. Don't think for one moment that God has forgotten you. He is working in ways that you cannot yet see, shaping you for something extraordinary. Hold on to your faith, stay in prayer, and keep moving forward, even when you can't see the next step. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, preparing the path ahead. Remember, the greatest miracles often happen after the quietest seasons. You are being prepared for something extraordinary, something only a chosen one can carry. The weight of your blessing is being finely tuned, so when it comes, you'll be ready to embrace it fully and glorify God with it. Trust the silence, embrace the process, and know that God's plan for you is good. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, chosen one. And when it comes, you'll understand that the silence was not a punishment. It was the greatest gift of preparation for the destiny God has ordained for you. If you found this message powerful and it resonated with you, I invite you to take the next step in your journey with us. Subscribe to this channel for more messages of encouragement and empowerment for chosen ones like you. Become a channel member and join our growing community of believers. Or if you feel led to support this ministry, you can do so through Buy Me a Coffee. Your support allows us to continue creating content that will uplift and inspire others. Thank you for being here, for your prayers, and for your belief in God's perfect timing. Stay faithful. Your breakthrough is coming.